Emergency podcast, Andy Lou. Emergency podcast. Presented by Under Armour and Sleeper Fantasy. Welcome to Light Years.
Yes.
This is the day you've been waiting for.
Yes. I asked for this podcast, and you guys don't know behind the scenes. I never asked to do a podcast because we have a set schedule. Sam runs the show. But today, I texted Sam. I said, I woke up at 5 a.m. today. I said, Samuel. We got some shit we need to talk about. I can't wait.
I know when I saw the text from you, I assumed it was sent at like 11:30 at night, and I was already asleep. And I saw the 4:54 a.m. tag. I'm like, what's wrong with Andy? And yeah, Woj posted it at 4:50 Pacific time. But the Warriors made a LeBron James bid at the trade deadline. Can you believe it?
I've never been happier.
Come on, man.
I've never been happier. This is my first thought is, dude, this stuff doesn't come out unless it's actually real. I'm not saying LeBron is going to end up being a Laker next season, but I mean, this stuff just doesn't get reported by a top 2 reporter in the NBA. It's Woj and Shams. Like, this is as real as it is. That this comes out. I don't think it's complete bullshit. If you remember, he reported on KD in 2016, and everyone was laughing. And then KD said, "All right, I'm going to the Warriors." I'm just saying, I think it's hilarious that this is presented as the Warriors begging LeBron to come, but in actuality, I'm pretty sure they both were talking about it. And Windhurst talks about it later, that both guys were talking about teaming up together in Golden State, not in LA, in Golden State, and that's what makes me so happy.
My first read on this, and let's go through a couple details here. Armed with the encouragement of Warriors star Draymond Green, because of course, Warriors owner Joe Lacob reached out to Jeannie Buss to inquire whether Draymond's apparent public frustrations could be interpreted as an opening to discuss trades, sources said. She goes on to say that Jeannie said, "Talk to Rich Paul, not to me." Not tampering, by the way, but that's a different discussion. There's not a lot to this story other than it's interesting it comes out now. And my read on this is it's coming out from the LeBron side, just letting the world know, hey man, I might not be a Laker next year. I might not. I don't know if I believe any of it, but that's what it feels like to me. I think you could also look at it the other way, which is what we know to be true, which is the Warriors would be interested in big moves, maybe not as interested in marginal moves. That's kind of always been their thing. They're looking for the biggest possible fish to get, trading for DeJounte Murray, not their appetite. They want to go get LeBron James.
Daniel Gafford, not up in here. A serviceable center that can block 5 shots a game, not up in here. LeBron James, though, 40-year-old guy, you know what I mean? Making $50+ million a year. A guy that we're probably going to have to trade multiple picks and maybe Kuminga for. We want that. But either way, I think this is exactly what Lacob wants. I just think I'm going to take the other side of you. You're saying that the Lakers leaked this, which for sure they did. LeBron's can't leak this. But I also think they're trying to maybe soft launch some stuff and say, like, okay, what is the public reaction to if Steph and I team up in Golden State, right? Because Steph's not going to LA. That's not happening. It's a 0% chance. But LeBron going to Warriors to play with Steph, it is a non-0% chance. So I'm curious. That's why I'm excited to see, like, is he just kind of testing the waters to see people's reaction to this? Is this kind of what it is? And they do it now mid-February as both teams are struggling? Is that what they're trying
we know LeBron loves attention.
That is true.
Honestly, like, I don't really want this, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
If it happened, I'd get on board.
Right.
But I kind of like where the Warriors are going, and I kind of want them to go younger around Steph. I think Steph can win another title with him and Draymond and the right young pieces around them. Young, meaning under 30. I'm not talking about 18 guys. I'm talking about guys in their mid-20s, guys who can help you in that window. I don't know. LeBron's going to be 40 next year. He's going to be 40. I don't really want to be trading picks. I don't really want to be giving up ascending young players. They can have Wiggins. Even that, like, I don't know, it's but then the other part of me is like, I'm not gonna lie, if it happened, it would be kind of enjoyable to watch Steph and LeBron play because they do have compatible games. I don't think you need to be a genius to see how their games would mesh together.
The 5-game win streak has ruined your mind, has messed with your brain, Sam. It has given you all this type of hope of this team. See, I am on the other side where I think both guys have teams that are going nowhere. I think they know that, regardless of what the Warriors are right now. I think LeBron is looking at LA and saying, man, like, I've got AD, but really, what else do I have? Steph's kind of looking at his guys and saying, I mean, it's cool right now, but have we seen what happened this season? Like, there's just kind of no avenues to improve in the offseason either, other than just making that big trade for someone like LeBron. And so to me, also selfishly, it would be pretty cool to watch the two greatest players of the last decade play together. We already watched Steph and KD play together, and that was an automatic championship. Steph and LeBron wouldn't be, just because those guys are older and the team isn't as good. But just watching those two guys on the same court, I tell you, Joe Lacob is going to make money hand over fist next season if that happens. But just for us, isn't it just perfect? Isn't it just perfect for the two guys that have been going at each other's throats across multiple championships, multiple finals, end up playing here together the last couple years of his career? I don't know. And it's cool that he's coming to play with Steph. Steph going to LA, I think, kill me. I truly think I might.
Yeah, but I mean that goes without saying.
But so, this works. This one works.
I'm not so in on it, but I don't think it's real. I don't think he's actually leaving LA. I think this is a lot of in the summer you can trade 3 picks, and I expect you to trade all 3 of them. LeBron avenues going on right now. We'll see, though. We'll see. I mean, what does it even look like? How does Draymond, LeBron, and Steph play together? LeBron plays Draymond's position, just higher level, offensively anyway. They'd play those two at power forward and center. There'd be no actual big man inside.
Sure.
I think you need to put a lot of athleticism around them for it to work because they're all old as hell, and I do think you're underrating the Warriors' optionality in the offseason, as I kind of rolling my eyes as I'm saying that. But they do have avenues. Unlike other teams, they have access to almost all their picks this offseason.
Right.
They have Chris Paul on a non-guarantee, so they can do weird cap gymnastics with him to make a trade work. They have some young players that, should they want to make them available, could be very attractive. And things are coming together in some capacity for him. Does it mean it's a finished product? No, not at all. But I do I've been thinking about it more and more, and it would have been nice if they could have pulled off the Caruso deal, because Caruso would have been a playoff rotation guy who could help them right now. And we've talked about it. I don't necessarily hate the idea of holding on to all your chips on this team, knowing you have a chance to be big game hunting in the offseason, including LeBron. LeBron is big game.
I was going to say, who are they hunting for what is the optionality for?
I just can't imagine you have to trade that much to get a 39-year-old LeBron who can walk in free agency. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that better for the Warriors, though, if that's the case?
Of course. I just viscerally got annoyed at the idea of trading a pick when when both LeBron and Steph are retired and they need that pick. But
I don't give a fuck. See, I don't care. I'll go root for the Giants when that happens 4 years from now when both guys are gone. Maybe the Giants would be good. Like for me, it's like you get only, and I feel like I assure you this is what Lacob is thinking. You only got so many of these chances. Like, okay, we're gonna talk about other options in a few minutes. They don't move me like this does. You put these two guys together, yes, maybe LeBron just plays 40 games because he's hurt. I'll take that chance. Because all this optionality shit, this bullcrap they've been throwing at us, it's for one guy. It's to get one guy. It's to get some guy like LeBron. It's not to get, whatever guy. It's to get LeBron. It's what you know.
Feels a lot like when the Lakers got Steve Nash
and
did their preseason victory tour, or the Nets got Paul Pierce and KG, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna destroy the league." And then you watch them on the court, and you're like, "Dude, you're too old. You are way, way too old." I think why it's working right now around the Warriors is athletes around Steph and Draymond makes sense. Wiggins finally realizing he's an athlete, Kuminga getting unleashed, doing some of that. And I just worry if they lean too much into the old. Yeah. Is LeBron a better old guy than Chris Paul? Obviously, goes without saying. But man, I don't want to look like that. This is going to be fun Lakers where we're like, ooh, and then, it's like, oh, this isn't how I imagined. Oh, that's right. They're 40, 37 and that sort of thing.
They are going to look like that. That's because I don't disagree with that. I just want to see it because Steph is 20 times better than Nash and LeBron's 50 times better than anybody that the Nets had. Like, these guys are just way better and have been better for a long time. These aren't guys that, like, those guys are like mid-tier superstars. These are alpha level these are the best we'll ever see in our lives. These two guys. So I'd rather see that, right? Like, if you're telling me, like, do I get a semi-washed up Paul George? I'm like, dude, come on, man. Give me LeBron. Give me the real. I want to hear LeBron's passive aggressive bullshit with Steph, after or with Draymond. I want to see Draymond yell at LeBron. See what happens then. What happens when Draymond does that? I want all that drama, and I could do without the mid-tier stars that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. It bores me. I want full drama for a team that I think, Sam, like, I'm less higher on than you are. I just don't think their future is great. Just because of all the reasons we've seen this season. At least make it entertaining.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like where they're going with it right now, but let's pay quick bill.
All right, we are brought to you by, of course, Under Armour, baby. Steph Curry makes you believe that you can do anything, like recruit LeBron James. And the Curry 11s are specifically designed with ultimate bounce grip and stability to allow everyone to do their thing. New generations of ball players coming up and showing the basketball world that the old rules do not apply. The future is exciting, fast, positive, and hungry. This NBA season, rock with your favorite player, rep his shoes on and off the court. The Curry 11s are perfect for both the committed and casual ballers. The UA Warp Tech makes the shoe feel like it was designed for your feet, locked in no matter what you do on the court. Stopping your tracks with dual density UA flow cushioning and traction, an emergency brake you don't even notice. Steph's 11th signature shoe steps into the second decade of his sneaker career, pulling colorway inspiration from the wonders of a positive and modernized future on and off the court. Take these kicks with you when you leave the scrimmage and rep UA wherever you go. Do your thing, change the game. The Curry 11 Future Curry, available now at currybrand.com. And this week's Light Years podcast is brought to you by Sleeper Fantasy. Are you using the Sleeper app for daily fantasy? Because I am. Tonight I'm taking LeBron. Tonight I'm taking Anthony Davis. Tonight I'm taking, last night I could take Kevin Durant to hit their overs on points, rebounds, assists. If you think you know basketball, then try to turn your basketball knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app, pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other daily fantasy app. Just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100x your money if your picks win. Use promo code LIGHTYEARS, and you get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Gonna play a little audio from our buddy Anthony Slater from earlier today.
Now, there's the LeBron James and the Warriors inquiring about LeBron James at the trade deadline. What's your takeaway from that? And if talks did get serious, does this set something up for the future between the Warriors and LeBron James, Anthony?
I'll just say this. The Warriors have been on the search for a potential number 2 next to Steph. I think they kind of know that that's the area in the pecking order that is needed for them to legitimately win a championship. They inquired about Pascal Siakam. I think if they felt like Paul George was disgruntled or Kevin Durant wanted out of Phoenix, like, I think, a big star wing next to Steph Curry, I think, is like on the agenda. Now, there's an outside chance that Jonathan Kuminga explodes into one, and that seems like a more realistic thing for me to say than it did a month ago. But of course, LeBron James is the ultimate headline name of headline names.
Right.
And sure, and he's also the one that at least hinted to the public that he might be slightly disgruntled.
So yeah, I mean, I think our big takeaway is, and Slater kind of alluding to what you and I were talking about, which is I like what this Warriors team is doing. I think they're building towards something. I'd be remiss if I said they're missing since Clay is probably no longer ever going to be that guy. They're missing that quote unquote number 2 that you're going to need in a playoff series. You could play good defense. You can have a good system. At some point, you need a couple guys who can get you a bucket. You got one in Steph. Don't really have another one going on right now. And so I think I think my real takeaway here is one, Joe Lacob would do whatever it takes to get LeBron if LeBron was available, but it might not just be limited to him, KD coming back? Probably not, but he'd do it. Paul George, I like that one because I could see the Clippers passing on him.
Can you? That one doesn't make sense to me. Why would that make sense?
They got to pay Harden. They already paid Kawhi. There's some rumors that they may not want to pay Paul George in addition. Maybe trading Paul George for depth.
Interesting.
Get a little Wiggins, a little CP2, CP3. Send him some Trace Jackson Davis. I don't know. It's you could see them being like, this makes more sense for us. It seems like a long shot.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Yeah,
doesn't sound to say it, but it does. Unless they pull a miracle and run the table the rest of the season, which that would require Kuminga skipping some steps, I think, and Andrew Wiggins playing at apex playoff levels, and just a bunch of things going on. Does seem like they're potentially going to go big game hunting in the offseason.
Yeah, I think that's good to hear from Slates. I know Lacob got on Kawakami's, and we'll get to that at some point, but I think that's good to hear that this team isn't going to stand pat, though they say that a lot. But it kind of jives with everything that we've been told about this team, right? It's unless they're going to get a star, they really don't care. And Steph's part of it. I mean, that's the thing is Logan Murdoch he said it, right? Like Steph's not sitting there saying I'm sure they came to him and said, what do you think about DeJounte Murray? What do you think about Daniel Gafford? I feel like those are the names that Warriors Twitter loves. I do too. And Steph is just like, yo, I don't really care. Yeah, Steph's like, it doesn't move me. So I'm just gonna ride with my guys. And so you just got to tick that up with Steph then. Right? It's the opposite of LeBron, where LeBron's like, all right, I'm gonna go out here and be a drama queen, and I'm gonna trade everyone every single month. And Steph's the opposite. He doesn't say anything, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't do anything or doesn't give an opinion. I think he just doesn't want these guys. He just wants to ride with his guys. And the only thing that's gonna prevent Steph from riding with his guys is you get a superstar. Like if the Clippers, like you said, just let's throw that out there, and the Clippers are like, all right, we gotta trade Paul George. We'll take Wiggins, Moody, and 2 picks, and Steph will probably be like, all right,
right, because that's a needle move.
Paul George, yeah, because it's Paul George.
Yeah,
but if you tell Steph, well, what about 2 picks and this for DeJounte Murray? So that's probably like, dude, whatever, man. Who cares?
Can we do better?
Yeah.
Can we do better?
Who cares?
Yeah. And to tie it together, this is kind of why I'm a little optimistic on their offseason. Putting up a quote here from Paul George. He's said it on his pod a few times. He's like, Kuminga's a dog. He's going to be really good. I really like him. And not saying that's the reason any of these potential type of moves would happen. You need a bunch of stuff, but I do think it helps the Warriors that they don't look like a train wreck. It looks like some of their young guys can do something. Steph is obviously still Steph. It's way easier to recruit and make moves when people look at your team and they go like, man, you add me to the mix for winning a title. Whereas like a couple months ago, you look at the Warriors and it could have been a pretty tough sell to people to want to go there. It's like, why would I want to go there? Sure. It's Steph and a bunch of retired dudes looking like trash, So I think maybe this is where my optimism for it comes from. Like, they're gonna make the playoffs. I really do think they will. Probably don't have enough to make a deep run, just being realistic about it. But there might be enough in the aggregate that they might be like the sexiest destination for
Well,
anyone who's kind of because someone's gonna shake free. Someone, we're saying Paul George right now. Odds are he won't shake free. What if Jimmy Butler shakes free? What if Lowry Markkanen is realistically on the trade? Like all these things matter. And I know trades, the team has to want to do the trade, but players can push their way to a degree to places. It does. Them saying they'll resign does matter a little bit.
yeah. I
So
also think, sorry.
all this, I just think all of this is like little positive. It helps. It helps more than it hurts. Let's put it that way.
They've got to stay down this path of,
Mhm.
of recovery. Well, I sound like they're addicts or something, but they've got to stay down this path of them looking better. I do think them being maxed out as a first round team, which I think you and I agree on that. They're maxed out as a first round team, maybe second round team, same as last year. I can't imagine it being better than that. Does help though in recruitment, because now recruitment isn't so much and again, like, look, dude, if they win a championship, who cares? This is all amazing. Don't
They hit
recruit anyone.
championships, some players improved in a way that they probably don't need to recruit. Yeah,
exactly. But them being a first round team, so let's say they thread the needle. They're not a lottery team, right? They keep their first round pick, or excuse me, they're not a lottery team. They don't lose their first round pick, or they lose your first round, but it's not bad. I mean, it is bad if they lose your first round pick, or they are a first round exit team, but they kind of need someone better to put them over the hump. That's where Paul George goes like, well, if I go and help the Warriors, right? Like he looks great. You're not going to a terrible team, which you don't want to go to, but you also don't want to go to an NBA Finals team because we saw what happened with KD.
right.
So I think them being where they are today maybe helps them in recruiting because they're good enough to where people want to play, but they're not so good that people don't want to come. And that's perfect for someone like Paul George. Markkanen, yes, Jimmy Butler. I love Jimmy, but man, he plays like 30 games a season. So I'm sure there'll be 10 other names that pop up between now and then that you and I are going to talk about. But it does work though. This what you're talking about, it does work. Like them being a first round exit for recruiting purposes.
And I honestly, I don't know that they're a first round exit. I'm going to be honest with you. Depending on the matchup,
You are loving it.
I think they can beat a ton of the teams in the West.
Oh,
I think there's also like Denver is probably a problem, just given how good they are, right? But it's like, honestly, do you not think they can beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in a series?
It's a tough matchup, but yeah, of course they're
young. They're young. Do you not think they can beat the Phoenix Suns in a matchup?
Of course they can.
Yeah, so I kind of don't hate. I feel like my bigger fear with the Warriors is it's just they don't have enough players, so there's a wear down effect,
right?
But it's like they might play the Kings again in the playoffs.
Well, Suns, Thunder, Kings, all of those are small ball teams.
Right?
That's perfect for the Warriors.
Sure, but then they'll eventually, as constructed, they're probably going to hit a ceiling at some point in the second round where everyone looks too gassed and they're going against like a Denver or someone who just has more players. They just have more guys that they can trust. But anyway, all this is to say the LeBron thing's interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm a hater. I just kind of I want Steph to get number 5 while LeBron is stuck at 4.
Yeah.
It's what I want. Like I can appreciate the spectacle. I would enjoy it if he came. I'm not going to lie to you and say I'm going to be miserable. But all things equal, I want to see Steph do it in a way where we could be like, yeah, LeBron is good, but he only has 4. I want that. That's what I want.
Cannot argue against you. I cannot. You win. I cannot argue against you. We will see you all. Man, the Warriors might be 3 games over 500 the next time we chat. So So we'll see. The Sam the optimism tank is keeps going. Keeps going.
All right. Appreciate you guys.